Hello and welcome back to the Basic Bee podcast. I'm your host and favorite SEO coach, Brittany Herzberg. Today, I want to be real direct, just go straight for it, and speak to one of the biggest hesitations I find clients encounter with SEO. And actually, I wouldn't even say clients because this hesitation pops up before leads turn into clients. It's something that keeps them stuck and can often keep them stuck for quite a while. And by stuck, I mean not getting leads from Google, not seeing their program fill up like they hoped it would, not growing their email list or podcast like they really want to. With love, it's often because you're not putting out the bat signal, which is exactly what SEO helps you do. So much of the time, our bat signal is dependent on us going on Instagram, sharing the content, doing the thing, saying the thing. But SEO enables these pages and these things to work for you and to go out and market for you. It seemed the best way for me to paint the picture of this would be to share a real story. So with that in mind, meet Julia. You're going to hear so much about her and what she does. So for now, I'm just going to share that she's a nutrition coach for women and moms who also weaves in mindset. It's really fascinating. Now, there are various hesitations that show up when a business owner is thinking about doing SEO, but still not quite ready to do so. We've got budget, which is why I have options that range from free to low ticket to done with you to done for you. There's also time, which is also why I've got options that range from free to low ticket to done with you and done for you. And then we've got the one that I hear almost weekly, I'm not ready for SEO. And this is where Julia was a full year ago. She was refining her messaging, her offer suite, and her business in general, really. We talked about SEO and she was interested, and she even shared that she'd be most interested in done for you. Then the conversation petered out, which is cool. No worries. It totally happens. No big deal. I remember one thing we kept circling back to, though, was that Julia was not feeling like she had things clear enough yet. And I feel like I can say this because Julia and I are on a very similar page here, where there are perfectionist tendencies. Another word that kind of gets thrown around is like high achievers, all or nothing thinking, that kind of thing. And this is something that is not specific to me or specific to her, but this comes up quite often in a lot of different circles that I run and a lot of different people that I connect with. So if you're also feeling like you have to have things all the way figured out before you do SEO, just know that that's not the case. Julia was still working on her message at that time. She was getting even more clear, even on her ideal client. All of those types of things, she was like, I'm not there yet. And I've heard this from other people too. So she was concerned that I wouldn't have what I would need to move forward with SEO and with keyword research until she had everything nailed down. And it was perfectly nailed down. And it could be said flawlessly on a podcast interview. But here's the thing. She did have her who, how, and what clear enough. And I know that because she would share a line with me and I would say something back like, oh, so you work with these people and you have these offers, right? And my answer would be right in line with who she wanted to attract and work with. One thing I like to remind every single one of us, me included, all business owners of is this. It's better to have some SEO strategy in place versus it being perfect. When you have nothing in place, the robots are going to take guesses at who you help, how you help people, and what you're known for. And their guesses are not always good ones. But when you have something in there, even if it feels rough or not quite right, the robots can start getting a sense of what you do and sending the right people your way. Okay, let's get back to Julia. So every once in a while, we'd resume this SEO conversation. Then I heard Julia was expecting her first baby, and SEO entered the chat again, in a really powerful way too. I mean, here she is very close to becoming a mom and having her time and her life wildly shift. She's thinking, what can I do to get my site to actually work for me and maybe even sell this new self-paced course I have while I'm away? And that's another thing too. She wants to shine a light right now on her self-paced course while she's on maternity leave. And then she wants to do more one-to-one coaching in a few months. And later this year, she knows she wants to host a group program. That's amazing. And her SEO strategy can morph to match whatever season she's in. But we've got to get something going for her site so it can have a chance to start working for her, especially during this season while she's away becoming a mom, learning this new life. So my suggestion, knowing the background that so many business owners have with previous investments that didn't feel good or previous SEO pros that some maybe didn't have the best interaction with. Maybe certain things weren't delivered. Like, we all have those stories. So my thought was to start with a mini SEO audit. This is specifically designed for someone to get a taste of, one, what it's like to do SEO, and two, what it's actually like to work with me. It's a low-ish ticket offer, which is currently priced at $77, and it packs a punch. You get a high-level view of what's going on with your site. What does the traffic look like? What are the keywords that the robots are associating with your site? As well as what does the SEO strategy currently look like for your homepage? I'm checking things like your SEO title, your meta description, and your H1 heading. So you purchase the mini SEO audit, you answer a few questions, I review your site, do some keyword research, and create a 3-part SEO strategy for your homepage that you then plug in. You get the Google Doc, which has the audit, the keyword research, the SEO strategy, and even a video explainer so you know what you're looking at, and video tutorials so you get everything plugged in like 5 to 10 minutes. Again, all for $77. So let's go a little bit more behind the scenes. I'm going to pull up Julia's audit and I'll take you through it. And she actually implemented everything this morning. So I'm really excited to see how this is going to work for her site. Okay, so over on her Google Doc, and this is the same for everyone, whoever you are, whenever you get this mini SEO audit, there's some kind of introduction at the top. There's a video where it says start here, and that is the video explainer of the Google Doc. And then we get into the review of the site as a whole. And I will tag these, but the tools that I like using, I prefer to use tools that you can also use. So I often have free tool suggestions. So Ubersuggest, the free Chrome extension, is one that I look at here at this part of the process. Then there's also the free SEMrush account that you can get, and also the free detailed SEO Chrome extension. So I'm looking at all those things, and what I'm able to pull together for her report for this SEO, for this website part of the review, is I've got the traffic and I can see that there's a little bit of a wave happening. Same thing with her keywords. So I actually mentioned this to her and she was like, oh, that's when I moved my site. So I wonder if that maybe impacted the traffic somehow. And this is one of the cool things that happens with the audits is I call something out and then the business owner is like, oh yeah, this thing happened. So you can start to see how your actions impact your website, and then also what positive things we want to like reinforce and do so that hopefully we have these positive signals, this positive sign from the data. And this also is very gently starting you off to help you see how you can interpret the data and what we can look for, and then what we can use the data to do in the future. So that is one thing. Then it gets into this section where if people have keywords that their website is ranking for, and not everyone does, but if someone has keywords that their website is ranking for, I include a screenshot so they can see what the keywords are. And something I noticed that was coming up with Julia's was like bachelorette in Florida, 30A bachelorette party, Rosemary Beach bachelorette. I don't know what this is, but I know that Julia doesn't like plan bachelorette parties. So I made a note and she actually said that it was a blog post, and clearly this blog post was something that the robots just like glommed onto, and they were like, she's known for bachelorette stuff, and she's not. So her question, which was a really good question, after she got this audit and she was looking through it and leaving comments for me, she's like, should I delete this blog post? Because clearly it's bringing lots of traffic in for that, and that's not what she wants to get found for. So that's something that we were able to talk out in the comments, and that's the type of questions that I get back from people once they have these audits. So let's see, other keywords. And then, okay, so we looked at the whole website, just overview, the traffic, the keywords, that type of thing. And if you end up walking yourself even through this mini audit, one thing to ask yourself when you see keywords, if you see keywords, is this question: are these keywords that I actually want to show up for? Are these keywords that someone who could be a potential client of mine would be looking up? Really, really sit with that, because some of these are going to be like this bachelorette party and it's going to be like, yeah, no, it's really not. All right. So the next part of the audit gets into like, here's the website page, here's info from the form. So I like to ask people if they know their who, how, and what. I like to ask them for that, because then I can do a better job with keyword research, with putting together this SEO strategy, but I am able to do it if people don't have those answers. I would say though, like 95% of the time, people are like, oh yeah, here's the answers. because they've listened to me or they've been sent to me some way, shape, or form. After that information is brought over, I also then take a screenshot from that detailed SEO extension of what the current SEO title and meta description look like. And if you've been in my world for a while, you'll know that these things actually show up as like angry red bubbles, or it will say something is missing. So the angry red bubbles show up if something is too short or too long. In this case, the description was a bit too long. It was 174 characters. So that had an angry red bubble, and I was able to explain that to Julia in the video. After I have that screenshot is where I go into the keyword research. So at this point, I'm assessing if there are any keywords that actually make sense for her website to show up for. And her one that she was ranking for is her name. However, people don't necessarily know to type in our names. They don't know Brittany Herzberg in SEO. They have to have that figured out for them at some point. What I encourage business owners to do is to utilize the SEO title and the meta description with things other than your name. I put your name on your about page, but on those other pages, it's really like, what are you? Who are you? Why are people coming to you? Who do you help? What offers do you have? Which is why I ask those questions, which is why I really don't want anyone to pass go without having the answers to those questions. So keywords have been researched. They are plugged in. And then I use those to create an SEO strategy for that page, for that homepage. So I have target keywords selected, and then I have the SEO title, the meta description, the current H1 headline, and then the suggested H1 headline. I'm going to share with you the SEO title and the meta description, which I was actually pretty surprised that Julia was like, oh my gosh, this is great. And she plugged it in immediately, because since we had so many back and forth conversations, I thought perhaps she would want to talk some of that stuff out, because sometimes there are business owners where they're like, well, what about this? Well, what about that? But actually, even as I say that, a lot of people who get these mini SEO audits are like, oh yeah, cool, I'm going to take it and run with it. But there are some times where there's questions, like 1 or 2 questions. Okay, so for the SEO title, which has to stick within that 40 to 60 character limit, it says sustainable weight loss for women, mindset and nutrition coaching. And I really, really, really wanted to weave in that mindset piece, because that is something that Julia has gotten so clear on. And even just in our behind the scenes DM conversations, she's talking about rewiring your thinking, rewiring your thoughts. So I wanted to make sure that was in there. And it also had a really good search volume. And then for the meta description, which needs to be 140 to 155 characters, it says this: I help women tackle their all or nothing thinking, shut up their inner mean girl, fix their diet, and finally get a body they feel confident in because of it. So I love this. And pro tip, which I think I've mentioned before on the podcast, when I'm writing meta descriptions for my clients, I will very often go to that web page. So if it's the homepage, I'm looking at the homepage. If it's the services page, I'm looking at that services page. And I'm looking for a section that's 1 to 2 sentences that really embodies their vibe, how they would talk, and what is it that I'm going to find on this page. So that is a line straight from her homepage. And I was like, this is so perfect. Then one of the notes that I will often make for clients in these mini audits is that there are often more than one H1 headline on that page. I've shared it before. I think I had 8 or 9 on my page when I first started doing SEO. And we want 1. So Julia happened to have 3, and one of them was like a ticker banner that was going across her homepage, and she had no idea that she could change the formatting. So I was able to point out that she could change the formatting, and she took it from an H1 to just normal paragraph text. So we were able to do that. And I actually really liked her H1, so I suggested that she leave it. And then the very, very bottom of the page, which is the same on everyone's mini audit, are the 2 tutorials. One of them shows you how to plug in the SEO strategy into the back end of your website. I use my Squarespace site as an example. And then I tell people how they can tag me in a comment if they have any questions, which many people do opt for that. So please know that if you have a question, definitely follow up with me. And then the final tutorial is how you actually submit this page for indexing to Google Search Console. And I even point out how to make sure you have a sitemap submitted to Google Search Console. So to get these video walkthroughs, which I kind of just did for you in audio form, people will often either write an email response back to me with a question or just saying thank you, or they'll leave comments in the Google Doc, or they'll leave comments in the Loom video. The mini SEO audit is a small offer, and it has helped so many business owners do things like increase traffic to their site, start ranking for keywords they actually want to be associated with, and yes, even book discovery calls, sell digital products, and sell physical products too. It was really designed to give you a taste of what SEO is like and what it's like to work with me. By no means is this a final stop. But if you're on a budget, or if you just need help with that new website you launched, or even a sales page, or you want to see if SEO could help drive traffic to that new product, this is definitely a good starting point. And as you're ready to move on to bigger and even more impactful things, that's when you can get the SEO Basics course, or join SEO and Grow, which is the group coaching program, or you can sign up for Done For You website SEO, which I would say typically books out 1 to 2 months in advance, and it's starting to lean 2 months in advance. So if you even think that this is something that you might want this year, I would encourage you to fill out the inquiry form on my contact page sooner rather than later. If you have any questions, find me with those. I'm going to be over on Instagram. And remember, I'm always over here cheering you on your SEO journey. You've heard me talk about it, but how exactly does social proof support SEO? Well, your clients are kind of freaking brilliant, because when they share what it's like to work with you, or what they were able to achieve or accomplish with your help, they use words that other people are searching for. For real, they'll say things like, I walk away with practical tips to apply SEO to my own business, or all online business owners need to know about your SEO course, or Brittany helps me understand SEO in a real and tangible way. You know what's coming next, right? I need your help to get the Basic Bee podcast reaching more of the right ear holes. When you follow, rate, review, and share the show, that helps me help more entrepreneurs discover and lean into the magic of SEO. As a little extra incentive to write a review, once a month, I'll be selecting one podcast reviewer to receive a free mini SEO audit. You'll help me get discovered, and I'll do the same for you. Check the description for more info.